Our current approach to victimhood is extremely disempowering and destructive for actual victims. That approach is pretty much don't talk about it, just tell them that they're not to blame. Victim mentality is the perspective that I have no power over my external environment or the people in it, therefore I have no responsibility for how I respond. Already sounding pretty disempowering and oxymoronic, right? But it gets worse. When we put our positive identity in victimhood, when that mentality molds our identity, we begin associating importance and moral superiority with being wronged. So victimhood becomes associated with reward. This is extremely destructive. But we're scared to talk about it because we don't want to be called victim blamers, and no one really understands where the difference is between encouraging personal responsibility and blame. When I began to seek help for PTSD after multiple sexual assaults and an abusive relationship, I was reminded constantly that I was a victim and I had zero responsibility. But that solace provided by victims advocates, Me Too, Facebook activists soon turned into a bottomless pit of rage and despair because I was a victim with a lose-lose legal case and a crazy ex who was back in town stalking and threatening me. For me, it came down to take personal responsibility or possibly die. And that's why this is so important. It's so important that we open up this conversation because that doesn't have to be the case for everyone. That being said, taking personal responsibility is something that no one can do for you. That's where victim blaming becomes a problem. But it is something that everyone who loves you and wants to see you succeed should encourage you to do. So I encourage you all to open up this conversation and begin looking in the mirror. You have no idea what's possible when you do this. No shame or guilt or blame, just honesty, responsibility, and compassion. 2 years ago, I was smoking weed and cigarettes. I was repeatedly being assaulted and abused, and I was a complete mess with PTSD. Since then, I've dropped out. I've traveled to 6 new countries for 8 months and been hired at a high-earning sales position, quit that position because I wasn't happy, and created my own business, which makes me very happy. Since taking personal responsibility, I've been able to create a reality that's worth existing in for me. And that is completely possible for you too. You have no idea. But the problem is most people don't know how to get there. And it's a tough road to navigate. So I know there's a lot of doubt initially that this is empowering, that taking responsibility is empowering. It's scary. And it's scary to bear that power and that responsibility for creating your reality, but it's so worth it. And I really recommend that you take advantage of my offer for a free discovery call. The link's in the description below this video. You can book as soon as tomorrow. I really hope to see you in my calendar if this sounds like you. And otherwise, if this video helped you, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, and hit the bell so YouTube lets you know when I post something on next Monday. And that's about it. I'll see you next week. Much love.